Phasers.
Hello, hello, hello. This is YP. Welcome to the show. It's Friday night. Time for another live stream. Thank you all for joining me. Got a couple things going on tonight. This is my third straight week going live on a Friday night. This is the place to be, the place to hang out. We're all the cool kids. I don't know if we're cool or what else you can call us. Maybe the strivers or something like that. But this is where everyone's going to be at. I'm going to see about making this a weekly thing to have a Friday night show. Well, I mean, I've done it for 3 in a row, so I'm going to try to keep the streak going, and maybe people will get the idea that they can bank on me. They know I'm going to be there every Friday night, and so they can expect me, and I might get a few more viewers. You'll be like, people will know it's there, so they'll be like, they'll come in and they'll be looking for it. And I just need to get good at doing this. We're going to be doing a couple news stories from the week. I've got I don't really have prepared statements, but I do have a few bullet points over here, which is my lifeline, so I can go to those things if I need to. And I'll be interacting with the chat, and towards the end of the show we will I'll drop the link to join, and people can call in, have a Q&A, or if they got something to say or what it might be. We might have someone with the verse to drop. That track you just heard was from Phaedros, as I wrote down in the track. You can look him up on X. Go start following him. He is an Orthodox Christian brother producer. This is what he does. He makes tracks. He makes beats. Yes, sir. And so when we were trying to get our group together, he made that for us. It was a custom track, and we were supposed to make a song out of it. I wrote my verse. I don't know what happened with everybody else. We had like 20 people in that group, and maybe half of them could rap, and I don't know why we couldn't get 3 verses out of all those rappers. We never finished a track. But we might try again. We're not going to give up completely. We'll see about that. Orthodox Boomer Grandma says she just put up a short on of Elias on his new old scooter. A wonderful gift from our worker Tom. Is it an electric scooter or a motor scooter or a push scooter? I'd like to know. I'll go check out that short next time. I should not be overlooking your channel. I feel a pull, OBG. I always feel a pull because you guys were so gracious to me there down at the place down in California at the San Jose Candle Factory. I always feel pulled back down there. I want to go visit. I want to come help even. You guys even offered me a job. I kind of have a good job here. I got this nice apartment that I live in. Got a new paint job on the apartment complex this week. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to leave my church and my community here, but I do feel a pull down to that place. So enough of the glasses. Actually, I got this bright light on me. Maybe I should leave them on. I don't know. So we got, let's see. I don't know. It says 16 people watching. I don't know how many of these are from YouTube. What does it say on the YouTube? How many are watching? I'm curious. Because I'm also streaming to X. So some of these viewers might be coming in from X. Anyhow, so this week in review. Oh, I also wanted to explain something from, I guess there was a question about my short. I had one of my shorts this week, and I was recommending a book. I had a book recommendation, and sometimes people ask you, they will ask you for a book recommendation, and I'm kind of hesitant to give book recommendations, but I went ahead and did a short, and I recommended, what I said was A Life of a Saint, which was kind of a joking way of saying it, because people don't really think of the Gospels as a life of a saint. But I recommended the book of John, the Gospel of John. And that is actually like a recommendation that I have been giving to people now for a number of years. Like when people ask you what book to start with, is it Some Life of a Saint? Is it the history? Is it this Timothy Ware, the Orthodox Church? I actually think you should start with the Gospel. I mean, it seems like, duh, like, it's like almost in plain sight, like the answer is too easy that you should already know. If you've never read the Gospel, maybe read straight through it, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Go through and read all 4. But if you don't have time, if you're not much of a reader, if you struggle to get through, try to get through the Gospel of John so you have an idea of Christ's life, what it was like, what he did. And this is something, hopefully, that over your life, the course of your life as a Christian, you will do over and over and over again. You should never get tired of reading the gospel. This is something that we should continually be engaged in. So that is a clarification. I do recommend the Gospel of John. Now let's see. What else do we have? We had this week was the Feast of Transfiguration. That was on Monday for those of you on the church calendar. So congratulations to everybody. Greetings. I know it's a few days past that, but greetings with the feast. You know, you'd be surprised how little people know even what that is. What is the Transfiguration? Because my parents, they asked me, you know, what are you celebrating, a feast, or what is the feast? And I said Transfiguration, and they said, what's that? What's that? Wait a second, Mom, you grew up Catholic, right? You went to Catholic school, you went to church every Sunday. Isn't this like one of the most basic things you could even possibly know about Orthodoxy, or I mean Christianity? You know, just forget Orthodoxy, Christianity, which Orthodoxy is Christianity, but forget, you know, putting that aside, laying that aside. I asked my dad, you're a Protestant, you grew up Protestant, you believed it, you read the Bible, and you don't even know what the Transfiguration was. You'd be surprised how little people know. And people are uninformed. And people will say, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe that. I read the Bible. I didn't like it. Or I didn't find it convincing. But you don't know what the Transfiguration is. So maybe you just skimmed through the Bible. Did you really read the Bible? Did you take the time to understand it? Did you actually go to church ever, or meet a Christian and have a Christian explain what it is? Transfiguration was Jesus Christ was getting closer to his crucifixion, and he wanted to prepare his preeminent apostles, which was Peter, James, and John, the brothers. He wanted to prepare them for this terrible trial that they were going to go through with him. And so he wanted to strengthen them for the upcoming event of his crucifixion. He wanted to bolster their faith. So he took them he went on a hike. You know, it's good for, it kind of shows that maybe it's good for Christians to go on hikes sometimes, go hike up a mountain. It's something that people do in general, and it's good for Christians to do. Go to a summit. And so Jesus took his three disciples, the apostles, up, and at the top of the mountain, he was transfigured. And this was not just a peak experience in terms of being on top of the peak of a mountain, but this was a spiritual peak. We as Christians sometimes have peak spiritual experiences. Maybe not every Christian. But I know I had these, even before I became Christian, I had some peak spiritual experiences, things that you remember that happened to you, that convince you that God is true. So Jesus was transfigured. His clothes became white and glistering, brighter than the sun. And he showed to his disciples his divinity. And they as much as they could bear, and they fell back, and they fell on the ground, and they could barely take it. So, you know, this was something. So later, when Christ was crucified, they would know that Jesus was God. So he was preparing them for trials that were going to come soon. And that kind of will lead into some of the stories that I'm going to be going over today from the past week of trials that are happening now in the world for Orthodox Christians. How we need to be prepared. We need to believe in God and have that faith to be strengthen us for trials that are coming upon us. We have a little bit of talk going in the chat. This is good. I like the banner. Brody. Okay. Brody Alexander says the real calendar isn't in sync with the solar year. Forgive me, I'm confused. That's true. I actually did a stream on the calendar question. It's an older stream. It's a good one. I think you should go back and watch that stream that I did where I explain the church calendar, how it came about, how the calendar change came about, the history. It's a very thorough stream. It's about half an hour, the calendar question. I would suggest if you haven't watched that one, go back and watch it. OBG says the old calendar is what I call the real calendar. Well, the way Abbott Tree Fund describes it as is the church calendar, which I like his way of referring to it. So what was the main story, the big story this week that we should be concerned about? I'm concerned about it. Let me use my handy dandy share screen. Here is a story from the week. Verkhovna Rada adopts bill number 8371, banning the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. So they voted with an overwhelming majority, 265 to 29 against 29, to after 30 days, the UOC will have to basically they're making the church illegal in Ukraine. The UOC, there's the UOC and the OCU, and it's kind of easy to get these kind of mixed up. I always forget, because the UOC is the canonical, legitimate Orthodox Church in Ukraine, and the OCU is this propped up church that this guy, the Bartholomew, has supported. He brought in some heretical bishops that have been kicked out of the church and never repented publicly, and he brought them and their churches under his omophorion. And so now the country of Ukraine is making orthodoxy, Christianity, real Christianity, illegal. And they have 30 days, and then they're going to start seizing churches and kicking priests out, and our priests are not going to be able to go and serve, and our faithful are not going to be able to have liturgy. Some of the faithful, sadly, the ones who are not well informed, this is basically a repeat of what happened in Russia in the revolution, the Soviet Revolution. And so they created this false church. They called it the Living Church. And, this is kind of almost a repeat, except this OCU, it kind of has this veneer of being Orthodox because they're under, some would say a legitimate patriarch, Bartholomew. So they have I guess they could say some legitimacy from that. But, in the Soviet Union, some of the faithful, not all of the faithful are well informed, and not all of the faithful go to church. They're not following the news. They don't know what's happening. They might not even know the faith itself very well. They might not be practicing. They might have just been baptized when they were infants, and they come twice a year, Christmas and Easter. There's a lot of percentage of the people are not strong, devoted Orthodox Christians who are doing the deal, who are going to church, confessing, taking communion frequently, all that. And they're not going to know. Like in the Soviet Union, a lot of the people, they said, well, that church is closed, but this church is open. We'll go to this one, the Living Church, which was not even an Orthodox church. So a lot of people, that's going to happen. Some of the faithful are going to say, well, I don't have a church to go to. I might as well go to the one that's still open. What is going to happen to the rest of the faithful? They're going to not have the faithful Orthodox Christians in Ukraine are not going to have the consolation of going to church and having the services and having the mysteries performed. It's going to be difficult to get your baby baptized. They're not, well, I don't know what so this is a difficult situation. I don't know if they're going to want to go to these other churches. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess this is kind of a tricky situation for them. But the point is, here's another article. This is real persecution. This is, persecution now in real time. It hits home. You feel that in your heart? Like, wow, this is real this time. They're making Christianity illegal. It's not legal. You will go to jail. It hits home. We got to, what is our reaction to this? Well, my first reaction was, I said, holy new martyrs and confessors of Russia, pray to God for us. That was just my first reaction. And when I said that prayer, all of a sudden I felt, wow, like this kind of like joy, actually. And I was kind of a little confused, but it would make sense why I would feel that, because what does our Lord instruct us? What does he say when you are persecuted? Blessed are those that are persecuted for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in the heavens. So we Christians of these last days, this might come home to us, and we might have a chance to actually earn our salvation, because we have it easy in the West here, and we haven't really had to suffer, and your faith kind of you can kind of become complacent in your faith. I know I get bogged down in my passions and struggles, just like all of you. I'm struggling along with you. I'm not some person who has overcome my passions completely, and I'm not like holy. I haven't become completely holy like that. I hope to someday, but maybe a little suffering will be a way where I can actually earn heaven. I'm going to go through, I've missed a few. I kind of haven't been following the chat here. Let me catch up a little bit. Michael Lofton did a horrible analysis. Okay. Yeah. I don't watch his channel, but did you actually watch that? Oh, he did a horrible analysis. They're probably talking about the calendar question still back here. Okay. Father John Whiteford's Telegram channel shows vilification and violent church seizures. Yes. So this has actually been going on. They've been seizing churches and kicking valid Orthodox priests and, faithful out of their churches. It's been going on since this whole war has been going on. And so this is just going to be a continuation and acceleration of that trend. And so, yes, it's an acceleration. And this is like, I know this is what's going to get me in trouble, because like I'm a public figure speaking about Orthodoxy and Russian Orthodoxy. And this is a very, the United States, certain people who have influence on our government want the United States to enter the war in Ukraine, because Ukraine is getting crushed by Russia, which is just they're just kind of outnumbered. Ukraine is outnumbered by Russia, and they've just been grinding them grinding them down, and and they don't seem like, it seems like in order, they don't want to give up though. We've been sending all this money, and the next step is to start sending troops to help fight in Ukraine. And when when the United States becomes involved in a war, all of a sudden it can become criminal. The government they wouldn't hesitate to make it criminal to support a foreign power that we're at war with. So if I'm on here saying this is why, maybe I might say something like this: I hope Russia can go in and free those churches, free those Orthodox Christians. Hopefully Russia wins this war so that Ukraine can stop persecuting the church. Russia's going to free the church if they go in there, and they get the government to get the Ukrainian government to say we give up, basically, to end the war. This is my mind. This is my mindset. And I'm saying things like this, and these are the kind of things that are going to get me in trouble here at home if such a situation, pans out. So you have to be like wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, I suppose. There's another article that came out a few days later in the Czech Republic. They call a committee to examine Orthodox churches in the Republic. So a few days later, just a few days after the Orthodox Church becomes illegal in Ukraine, they're starting to examine the issue in the Czech Republic. All right. So this is kind of dominoes, right? And this could come home to us. This could come home to us very, very easily. And my home church, the Russian Orthodox Church that I go to, could become illegal. Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to close? I mean, it's going to be. This is something we have to prepare for as a possibility, and something that could eventually happen. So those were a couple news stories that happened on the day, in the week. There was another thing that I would think we should just briefly. This is kind of a little different thing. By the way, I am going to share the invite link pretty soon in the chat in case people want to come in and join the stream. I don't know how long we're going tonight, maybe an hour or whatever. See what happens. But yeah, the orthodoxy is obviously like the number one enemy for our hidden, unseen enemies. Obviously, that's clear. There's no, questioning that. But this is another thing that happened this week. So this is President Putin. He just kissed a Quran. This, I just have to say, there's no defending this. You can't. Maybe if you were like a mentally handicapped person and you don't know what's going on, and someone hands you a book to kiss, maybe it's excusable. But President Putin's obviously a smart guy. He probably knew this was happening. I don't know if they warned him, but I don't know if this was pre-planned or just off the cuff. But if you're ever put in a situation where if you're an Orthodox Christian, just say thank you, but I'm not going to kiss your holy book. These Muslims, they venerate this book almost as if it is a god. And you're kind of giving credence to their beliefs. Vladimir Putin himself being an Orthodox, professing, practicing Orthodox Christian. So I just wanted to say that this is not acceptable. Just lay that out in case you saw that this week. That's not something that we should be doing as Orthodox Christians. What other? One more. I have one more news article to share with the people. Yeah, he's, he is trying to, yeah, there are a lot of, here's a comment from OBG. There are a lot of Muslim citizens in Russia, so political move. Yeah, he's not converting to Islam, no, but he's just trying to pacify his Islamic constituents. There are a lot of Muslims in Russia, especially South Kazakh, like southern areas. I don't know all the geography myself, but like on the borders with those countries in the south. I mean, Russia itself is basically a huge, it's a federation of countries. It's almost like, like we have states. They have like practically whole countries within their borders that they kind of unite together. So, I mean, they do have to try to have peace with their neighbors, and which is a good thing. I mean, Orthodox Christians, for example, in the Holy Land, they've been living around Jews and Muslims for hundreds, thousands of years. And so you got to learn how to get along with your neighbors. You don't want to antagonize your neighbor. You got to love your neighbor. You got to be able to pass him by in the morning on your way to work and say, hello, good sir, good morning to you. You don't believe the same God that I believe in, but you don't, that's fine, but we can still be civil and, get along with each other. Oh, this is a great question. Cody G says, do you know if Russia is going back to monarchy anytime soon? I don't think so. I do not think so, but I hope so. Then I'd move there. Then I would want to move. I want to go to I want to live under a king. That's politics that I could get excited about. We were having a little chat in the chat here about, our U.S. elections. We have Trump versus Kamala coming up. RFK, I guess, just endorsed Trump, which is, Trump is good for America because it really is better. I mean, I don't know. Trump obviously is not necessarily, in the grand scheme of things, he's not really, he's not fighting necessarily for Orthodox Christian values or what's best for, he's probably going to be helping usher in the reign of the Antichrist, in the end. But he will be good for America. The economy will improve under him. So Trump is good for America. And if you're an American citizen, I can understand supporting Trump for that reason alone. But yeah, I hope we have some Orthodox king somewhere someday. There is some sort of prophecy I've heard. I don't about an establishment of an Orthodox monarchy. I know that we still have living descendants of the Tsar. There are family members that were related to Tsar Nicholas, the last emperor of Russia, and so there is an heir to the throne, a living heir. I don't know his name off the top of my head. You could probably look it up somehow or do a little bit of research. That would be exciting if we actually had an Orthodox monarchy somewhere. That would be really exciting. I would want to move there. I would want to join and become a citizen. Lepa Yelena says he's not a warmonger. This is true. He has been saying some things about, war with Iran. Trump has, but we're gonna blow you guys back to the, I think Trump has unrestrained support for Israel, and Israel itself is a warmonger. But Trump did keep us out of wars in his first. He finished off ISIS, and then he never entered into any more wars. So Trump was a peaceful president in his first term. So good for America. Trump is good for America. There's no doubt about that. My last news, speaking of moving to another country, my last news article I'm going to go over is this one, in which Russia offers safe haven for people trying to escape Western liberal ideas. So I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but basically they're making it easier in terms of getting visas and getting your documents in order. They're going to make it very easy for Westerners, Americans. They're inviting people who don't like, for example, our ruling elites' liberal ideals that we have to live under, you know. They're making it easy for us to move to Russia. And a lot of people are, you know, I don't know about a lot, but there are a fair number of people who are moving to Russia. We had a guy from my parish move to Russia. And he loves it there. He moved there. And for you young Orthodox men out there, he moved there. He got married he found a fiance within a 6 months to a year. So if you're an American, you want to get married, I mean, you go to Russia, you start attending church, you show that you're a pious Orthodox Christian, you get a job. Hey, this guy there's no way he would have got married if he had stayed in America. No way. And he loves it there. We also had we had one of our families from our parish go there. He had a sabbatical and he took his whole family there for a sabbatical. And he says it's better. They all say it's better in Russia. So we don't have this oppressive, extremely liberal, country and elite that really are making it hard for being a conservative Orthodox Christian. It's probably easier in Russia. So there you go. They're making it easier. You can get there. You can get there, get a 3-month visa for quickly, and then while you're there, you can get the paperwork for further stay for your visa. So, right now it's a little tough. If you want to get into Russia, you can't fly directly to Russia because of the war. They closed down international flights to Russia. So you have to circumvent those restrictions. You have to fly, for example, to I know one guy who wanted to visit. He said he had to travel to Turkey, and then from Turkey to fly into Russia. So you have to go around the bans. Russia has many holy monks. Wait, I was trying to show this one. Do I attend Vespers? I attend Vespers. Yes, I do. Russia is good for monastic life. Leipa was thinking of moving to an Orthodox country, but we are part of the diaspora spreading the Orthodox faith in America. That's true. I don't have an immediate impulse to move myself. I don't want to run away from problems. Just face it here. Let the problem come to me and deal with it. Georgia. OBG says she has friends who moved to the country of Georgia. I'm going to have to visit Georgia one day, but I think I want to visit England, honestly. So I'm losing my voice here. I've been talking for 40 minutes. I'm going to drop an invite here in the chat. And people who want to just call in and say something. I know I had a couple people say they would call in. Is Timothy watching? Are you out there, Timothy? Timothy, feel free to click the link in the live chat, and you will be teleported and transported onto a live stream. So it says I've got 14 people watching here. It's not very much. It's not very many. This is a small channel. I'm working on a couple interviews. I've got like maybe three interviewees in the works right now. So people like the interviews more. I get it. Maybe I must not be that entertaining because I need to get better at this. Maybe I need to do this more often. I kind of wanted to this is actually kind of addicting to do a live stream. It's fun. I kind of wanted to do it again, like before Friday. It was Monday and I was like itching to press go live. I was like, maybe I should go back on the back porch and do another smoke the pipe. If I did something like that every day, maybe we could all smoke our pipes together. I know a lot of you Orthodox are, thank you for joining, OBG. I know you got to go. Thank you. We love you. But I know a lot of Orthodox smoke pipes, so it's kind of an Orthodox thing to do. So maybe I'll start doing 2 live streams. Like I'll do a early in the week. I'll go out and smoke my pipe once and do a midweek, and then I'll do a Friday or a cigar. I could get into cigars. I tell you, I do enjoy cigars. Those are nice. I want to try this one. Someone told me to try Toscanos, so I'm gonna maybe try some of those. That would take also a cigar lasts a lot longer. So if I wanted to do a little bit of a longer stream on those, but so the link is in the chat. Is anybody gonna join? Anybody gonna call? Anyone want to become part of the stream? Maybe I know I guess Timothy's not with us. That's okay. I know he was saying he might stop in, but I understand things come up. Yeah, EPL is good. He does these massive streams frequently. He does 3-hour streams and he's just talking. How can you just stream for 3 hours like that? I mean, that is crazy. Oh, I haven't heard of this. Cody says, live is interesting. Someone who is great at it is Dark Journalist on YouTube. He does every Friday night. You could talk about similar topics as him. I've never heard of him, but Dark Journalist, I should note this down and I will check him out. Thank you for the suggestion. Dark Journalist, noted. Athanase says unmute. I'm not sure who he's talking to. Obviously, people can hear me because they've been listening and interacting with me the whole stream. So I can't be me. I'm not sure who he's talking to. OBG, don't you have to go feed your hubby? Still here? I'm kidding. What about didn't somebody have a Lazarus? Is Lazarus watching? Do you want to come in? I have no callers. No callers in. I'll post it I'll post it again. If anybody's watching, you just click this link. The thing about live streaming, this is a good thing a skill to develop. Someone who can just go on stage, be in front of people, be comfortable, talk. It takes a little bit. I mean, that's a good skill for me to develop. If I keep doing this and I keep going, I'll get better at it. Even once a week is not that much. Maybe I should. I mean, in the end, the goal, the best, the the best long-term goal for what would make a very successful channel, I think, would be to go live every day at the same time. That would definitely be probably the best thing for my channel. But we'll get there bit by bit. You know, maybe if I win $1 million and somehow like maybe one of my meme coin investments will hit the lottery, so to speak. I'll be able to retire early and dedicate all of my energies to the channel. Hopefully it's doing some good. Got a couple leads for interviews. Maybe I'm working on an interview now with Father Mikhail of Living Orthodox. I think that'll be a good one. Well, okay, so we've been going for 45 minutes. I think that's good. I think that's good for the night. If no one wants to call in, we've gone through a couple news stories, giving you something to chew on. So I'd like to thank everybody that joined tonight for the live stream. I thank everybody who has watched the recordings. Please hit the like button if you would like this to get out to more people, and subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll catch you all next Friday. This has been Young Penitent, and I'm out.